Welcome everyone to our Cafecito Cultural. Hello everyone and welcome to our Culture and Diversity conversational panel of this professional learning community group. I'm Rosabel, founder of this wonderful group of professionals that work together to bring culture and value diversity to our classes. Today in our Cafecito Cultural, we are pleased to have our friend Mrs. Katherine Blumel. Katherine is a native of Barranquilla, Colombia. She loves life and also is obsessed with learning and exploring novel ideas, people, and places. She teaches middle school Spanish in Missouri. Katherine is happily married, has 3 boys, and an adorable fat cat. Señor Blumel, as her name is in her social media, makes highly engaging educational videos to support learning both online and in the classroom. She creates her own YouTube videos. Her channel offers an outlet to express herself, support educators and students, share about her culture and other cultures, and connect with people, which is what she loves the most. Her hobbies include making YouTube videos for her channel, organizing, shopping, cooking, exercising, and spending quality time with friends and family. Katherine, I can tell now that your life is what you do, and what you do is your life. You really show passion, this is what exactly I admire about you and any educator that loves the same hobbies and everything that you have. It's kind of, I feel very much connected with you. But how is the content of your videos and how you make time to even create all these resources for teachers?
Hello, well, I'm very excited to be here. So thank you so much for having me here. Yes, so you said all those things in the bio you read. I'm a passionate teacher. I'm passionate about what I do. So teaching is part of who I am. I've always loved teaching since I was a little girl in Colombia. So now that I have a job and it's official, it's just for me, it's an enjoyment, truly, it is an enjoyment. So, um, a lot of people like to watch shows, TVs, and I don't watch TV. So if you take that TV time away, you're gonna have a lot of, depending on how much TV you watch, but you're gonna have some time, right? So I go to work, I like to spend time with my family, but when my husband and the kids are watching TV or playing video games, whatever, and I have some time, one of those things I do is I love making videos. So a lot of people might think, oh, you're still working. Sometimes my husband says, you're working, like take a break. But I'm like, but this is relaxing. Like I actually enjoy making these videos and doing this. So yeah, so it is a passion of mine, and I do it for enjoyment. And I'm also at the same time, I'm helping my students. I'm helping other educators, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Yes, and I appreciate that so much. Your work for educators as well. When we do something from the heart and it's our passion, and it's no way, I personally feel like I'm missing something when I'm not working in something that I like, either be in the classroom with the students or doing Cafecito Culturales. Well, Katherine, I want to introduce you to Kat. And we have Kat here today. We have Mr. Bernard, hola, Sybil, and Jackie with us today. They're going to also be participating of this Cafecito Cultural. Please feel free to unmute yourself when you have any questions, okay? Now, I would like to ask you, where can teachers find your resources and how can use them? I'm sorry, how can they use them in their teaching?
Okay, so my resources are available online for everyone that wants to use them. I have a shared Google Drive that I created, and I am going to show you here. I have it. I have this PDFs. I was trying to find the slides, but I just found the PDFs. I'm going to share this, but basically, if you go to my shared Google Drive, you will find all those resources, right? So if you click on the link, and I will I'm sure you are sharing all these links with the
Yes.
people so
Yes,
they can
right now
access
I'm
them.
gonna share, yes, I'm gonna share right now the link for the Google Drive. I just did the YouTube channel as well. Here they are. Okay.
All right, so this is, there you go. So this is the shared Google Drive. So a few years ago, maybe 2, 3 years, maybe I think it was 2 years ago when I started doing this. I just said, okay, I'm just gonna, share it with everybody. So I just put everything here. So I organized the videos. The first one is just a little sample of everything. If people, teachers can just quickly come here and find a video that they want. And if they want that video, they can just click on it and it will take them to the slides that I've created for that video. So for example, this video, let's see, learn Spanish question word. So if they like that video, they can click on that video and then it takes them to all the resources I've created for that video for the students. So, as you can see, it has several things here, worksheets that they can print. It also has, I try to organize things in a way that will be easier for teachers to locate. So my channel has playlists. So I have Spanish mini lessons for Spanish teachers. I have a few tech tutorials for teachers who want to use more technology in their teaching or maybe wondered how I do some of the stuff I do and they want to do their own. I got some music there, Latin music, Christmas music, or just background upbeat music. I got cultural videos, which is one of my favorite things to do. I wish I could have more time to do those. Some of these are actually in the country, like Carnavales de Barranquilla. I also have food, things like that, that is so important in our culture. I got a few of me teaching in the classroom and then entrevista series, which is when I get to interview native speakers, which is also fun for the kids to do. But yeah, so if you go to that Google Drive, you're gonna see how I organize everything. If some teachers like the PDF version of just a worksheet, they can find it there. Or I also create games, like fun games. I know my students, they love to play fun games, so I put all the videos and the vocab into a game, so there's the links to those. And I'm also part of Flipgrid, which Flipgrid is part of Microsoft, and I'm an ambassador there. So what that means is I share my topics to promote learning and engagement. So my topics there have a prompt and have just things that teachers can use to assign students for those teachers who use Flipgrid. So I keep adding and improving the slides, but this is basically what I post everything. So.
Oh, so now everyone who came today now have access to your Google Drive and you always keep it updated. Good.
Yeah,
Thank
it is
you.
free.
Thank
And
you.
like the only thing I ask is that obviously, you give credit to, if you're using one of my worksheets, don't delete my logo or don't delete, just give credit to my work. And obviously I would love, the way I grow my channel is having subscribers and people that can watch it. So I don't charge any money. Some people wanna say, oh, how much does this cost, whatever. And I'm like, well, I don't want to charge money because teachers, we don't make a lot of money. But if there's some teachers that do feel like, well, I would like to, contribute to your work, then I said, okay, you can do that. And, that money, obviously I have to do like my subscription to the programs I use and things like that, which I use my money. But if I get money like that, I always can use that money for that, or to just buy fun things in my classroom for my students. So whatever people want to do, again, is all free. And to me, just very rewarding that students are learning. So just when they comment and say they do this, they're learning through my videos. That's my pay right there. Like I just really enjoy that.
So fantastic. When you was talking about the cultural, I think it was on your third, one, two, three, fourth slide, the cultural videos.
Right.
Say that you go, you do interviews to native speaking, you travel all the way there to,
So right. So like for example, it depends. I have a few of this. For example, this interview was done. I think this one was in Chicago. This is actually my nephew. He just got here to the US from Colombia, just got his visa. So his family just got their residency after waiting like 15 years for it. So he just started school. So I thought it was kind of would be valuable for him to share his feelings about being in this country and learning Spanish and just everything about it. So that was kind of cool. I just sat in his backyard where he lives. Some of them are some of them are actually in Colombia. When I go to Colombia, I visited a few people that were, say, hey, I asked them if they wanted to be interviewed, and they say yes. I got the consent from the parents because some of them were minors. Parents were okay, all that good stuff, and we did the interview. Some of them, there's one student that is from Spain, Barcelona. He was actually my school, so I did it here in where I live. So it just depends, right? It just depends.
um, anybody have a question right now for Katherine?
I do.
Okay, go ahead, Kat.
So, how do you get inspiration? Because it seems like you have so many topics.
Right. So again, when you are passionate about something, you are thinking about it, right? So like, I guess you could say I'm OCD about the stuff I love and do. So I'm always thinking about it. So I'm always like thinking, okay, this would be cool. Like, oh my gosh, this would be so cool if I make this. So like I envision in my head what I want. For example, the last video I did was about foods, right? So I did a video that tells you everything about food. So I had in my mind, I'm always like, well, growing up, you always learn about the food pyramid and all this stuff, but food is such a huge topic. Like, how would you like put all that into a video? And it's so comprehensive. So I just been thinking about it. I go to sleep and I just think about it, and then I just kind of go online and I'm like, okay, food pyramids, and I just kind of browse through information about that topic just to give me ideas as I see pictures and stuff. I'm envisioning something, but I don't know what it is, right? Like I don't know yet, but I just kind of feed my brain with different things that I see. And then I just kind of process it all and say, well, I want to do it my way, my style, and this is what I do. So then I start the process in the program I use creating the video, and sometimes takes a long time. Like that video took me over a month to make. It's only 30 minutes, but obviously it took over a month and took many hours. The same with that Day of the Dead video, which is about, the historical celebration. That video took me probably like 42 hours to do, and it's only 9 minutes. Lots of research and things like that. So basically, when I watch Disney movies, if I watch some, I don't watch a lot of TV, but if I watch or go to the movies with my husband, I love animation. So when I see animation videos, I'm always figuring out how can I do that myself. And I'm not an expert on video creating or nothing. I just self-taught myself. Everything I've done, I've just self-taught myself through very painful journey of watching and reading and making errors, and oh my gosh. But it's fun. I like it. So
All right, so going through what you say, how you have basically training yourself and making mistakes and learning from mistakes and all that. Can you help us to, let's say, how can a world language teacher incorporate more cultural topics in their teaching? How would you suggest to do this?
Right. So culture is when I teach my students, I always tell them, guys, I teach you Spanish, but really, I cannot really teach you Spanish because you cannot really study a language, right? A language is too complex and too abstract to teach. You cannot detach that with the culture. So I'm the whole package, right? Like me, who I am, the way I talk, the way I act, the things I say, uh, the phone conversations they hear me have. Sometimes my mom calls and she doesn't know English, so sometimes it's fun for them. I just put it on speaker and we just have a conversation and they learn so much just hearing, the way I talk to her. And sometimes I let my mom talk to them, especially the advanced, just say a greeting or something. They always get kicked out of that. But yeah, so basically I go with that mindset that I'm sharing with my students my life, right? Like who I am. I'm just me, right? And me means all the experiences I had growing up in Colombia. Me means, my family that who's here in the US, but doesn't know English and is struggling, in that aspect, navigating, living in a country where they have to know, English to communicate. So they're trying to figure that out, but they're still living here. So it's just so many components. So I just try to share those things with them. I shared lots of personal experiences. I shared, if I'm eating, if I bring, I don't know, a mango, right? Like I bring a mango and they see me peeling it. That's a conversation right there. Well, let me tell you about the mango tree I had growing up, in Colombia, in the mango hang. And I had a window in my kitchen and you can grab the mango and they're like, what? So that's culture. When my mom's here, I'm like, Mom, come to my classroom. You want to come and talk? And she's always like, please don't talk too old for this. So if you see, there's a really cute video of my mom in that one, in the cultural videos, where she's in the classroom and she's just being my mom, just 75-year-old woman trying to be around a bunch of middle schoolers that have no idea how to interact with somebody like that, but they just did it and it was wonderful and they just learned so much. So some things you cannot teach, some things you cannot explain into a lesson. You just have to experience it, right? It's just who you are and the people around you. So that's how I teach culture, right? So sometimes it's a person that comes, sometimes might be a video that I show, but most of the times it's just me. It's just who I am.
Correct. Well, it's easy because it's just who you are. But the problem is when it becomes to a teacher that is not Hispanic and want to start somewhere, right? And to incorporate, to helping by what is our goal here, to incorporate culture in their classes. Will you suggest then just go to your videos? Which one will be the video that you will, it will say for a new teacher or even experienced teacher?
Right. So I guess I would say if I put myself into somebody else, let's say I teach Italian. I love Italian. So that's another language I would love to learn and be fluent. So let's say I teach Italian and I want to teach people about Italian culture. Obviously, one of the things I would look for is authentic videos from Italian people, right? In the Italian culture. So I would go to those videos to show the things that are important in that. I would have to do some research, right? Research maybe the important things that are part of the culture, whether that's, festivities, food, culture. I would make a goal to visit that country for sure, right? So I would save money, whatever I need to do, but I would make a goal to visit that. I would reach out to for example, on Flipgrid, which is one of the platforms I use, you have all these educators from around the world that you can connect to and exchange ideas and partner students with them, with yours to communicate. I would be reaching out to those teachers to connect. Right, so I wouldn't presume like, oh, I'm Italian and I know everything the Italian culture, but I want to learn and I want to immerse myself a little more into that culture. So that's something teachers that teach Spanish can do. So obviously I share all those things for those teachers who are interested in, in finding those authentic resources and sharing them. That's why I do it too, that are available to them, because a lot of them, like you said, they're not native and they feel like they're inadequate maybe sometimes to teach. But again, it's also part of that desire and that desire to embrace the culture, right? That is so important for the students to know that as teachers, we want to be embracing, and how you embrace a culture is first investigating and learning about the culture, so you are educated about it.
I have a question, if that's okay. I'm sorry my camera isn't on, but my Wi-Fi is a little iffy. So I'm also from Colombia, and the month of February especially, I love to focus on some kind of theme that has to do with Afro-Latinos around Latin America. And specifically, I was looking for something perhaps about El Chocó. Can you recommend anything related to that region in Colombia in particular, or anywhere else that I might use in the remaining weeks of February with my students?
Alrighty, so I don't have anything from El Chocó, but obviously, I'm from Barranquilla. May I ask where are you from?
Well, I'm very familiar with Tuluá Valle del Cauca, which is where my mom was born. I really would love to visit Medellin, but I'm familiar with mostly Tuluá and Cali.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so Barranquilla, the coast part, obviously has a huge, cultural background, and we have ties with African culture. So one of our biggest things that we celebrate and is part of our culture are carnivals, right? So carnavales. And we start the celebrations way early, but they usually happen in the months of February, March, between the two. But the carnival celebration is huge, and I do have a video for that. And you can show that video about carnivals, and obviously you might want to do a little bit of a cultural background and share that with your students. But how the celebration celebrates that the African culture that is predominant in Colombia, and how we have the dances. For example, we have so there's one that is like La Danza de los Negros is one of them that is huge in los carnavales, and the costumes,
Mapalé.
Mapalé, oh my goodness, Las Negras de Cartagena. Okay, so we have those, and how important they are for our culture, and we just it's a rich celebration, right? So that is one that I would suggest that I have, but again, there might be other ones. I just don't know. I don't have anything for El Chocó specific.
Oh, okay. No, thank you very much. I'd be interested in seeing what you have. You have a fantastic repertoire. So
thank you. Yeah, I plan to add more things. Again, my channel is not that old. It's only been I started working just right after COVID on the videos. So as you can imagine, it's a lot of work. The type of videos I make are they require a lot of work, right? So and especially cultural videos. So I plan to keep adding more. But yeah, so just if you obviously subscribe to the channel and get the notifications, you can always just come back, because this, I plan to keep doing this until I don't know when, but I just love it so much. And I just my goal is to improve and learn more, because I have so much to learn, right?
Oh, and you have so much to offer too. This is wonderful. One more question, if that's okay. What do you recommend for like arts and crafts during like this month? You mentioned Carnaval. I was thinking something with masks and having my students work on masks and maybe write something about in Spanish about what the purpose, what the representation of the masks in Carnaval are. Might you have something related to that?
Yeah, I think that would be actually really cool. So masks, everything, and also flowers. Colombia is one of the number one exporters of flowers in the world. So if you see the Carnival, everything has flowers. The movie Encanto, that Disney just released, shows a lot of that too. So anything that I would recommend to anything with flowers, the girls can make something, anything that they can make with flowers. And it doesn't really matter where you put it. It can be on your head. It can be like on your arms. We have flowers everywhere. In the carnivals, you will see the costumes, how they have, flower is so predominant in everything. So I would add something like that, if you want to do like a little craft with them, and then tie that to the culture and the celebration.
Great idea. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else have any questions for Katherine? You can unmute your microphone. All right, well, I do have one question, and I would like to know, how can students use your videos to increase proficiency in the target language?
All right, so I'm creating lots of videos. So the Spanish playlist that is called Spanish Mini Lessons obviously has videos focused on a specific part of the vocabulary. So grammar videos, obviously, if they're interested in that. So I have a little bit of everything. So if you are the student who is more focused on like mastering just the vocabulary for a unit or whatever, I got that, right? Like I got those videos that explain that and explain the rule, the grammar rule. But I also have other videos that one of the things that I really, really love doing with my students, and I recommend to improve proficiency, is the Q&A. So I have a video called Let's Speak Spanish. And it's just a series of questions, just a series of random questions with the answers. So I told my kids, play that in the background. You don't even have to pay attention to it. You can be brushing your teeth, but play it often. And that's gonna help you. Now, every Friday in my class, we do the Let's Speak Spanish. Some people call it Persona Especial or whatever. But what I do is that every quarter, I give my kids a set of questions that they have to memorize, but then the answers are their own, right? So they write their own answers, and then we practice them. And then on Fridays, I pull randomly, 2 or 3 kids to come up front, and then we interview that student and he shares. In the beginning, it's a lot of memorization because again, I teach Spanish 1, which is the very beginning. Kids come to me knowing nothing.
Yes.
So I have to build that proficiency. But then they're with me 2 years because I teach in middle school. So Spanish 1 is divided in 2 years, Spanish A and Spanish B. So by the time they are in my second year, and we are doing the Let's Speak Spanish on Fridays, a lot of these kids, the goal is to deviate from the set memorized answer and then just add other things, right? Like, well, maybe I like to go this place. Like if I say, you know, ¿dónde compras? That's one of the ask questions. And then the set response will be compro en, fill in the blank.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe as they get older and in the language and have more time practicing, then I want you to add other things to it. I want you to say, well, you know, compro en diferentes tiendas, pero mi tienda favorita es esta, pero a veces, no sé, puedo ir a Amazon, depende cómo esté la situación en blah, blah, blah. So then I want them to get that critical in their answers. And the goal is that they can be able to talk about anything. For example, if you give them a topic, the student can talk to me about that topic in a very coherent and proficient way without any prompts or without any script, you know, without any script. So that's the goal. And obviously Spanish 1 is just one level. They need to continue language proficiency is stepping stones, right? So you gotta keep working on it. But one of the things to me that is very, very important is to get those kids talking as soon as they feel comfortable. So having those questions and those cards is a safety thing for them to have and grab a hold on. And in the beginning, even though it's memorized, it gives them confidence in the language, like, wow, I can answer, you know, all these questions in Spanish and I can ask somebody. So I'll say, okay, you know, what do we have around here? What Spanish speaking places? We got restaurants, we got this, I want you to go. And then I want you to ask to the waiter this question in Spanish. You know, we're very friendly people. We like when people ask us questions. So I give them ideas and then they'll come back sometimes in class and say, hey, Senor, I went to this place and I asked this question and I was able to understand and things like that. So I want them to be able to use it in their community, even if it's just that in the beginning, like the memorized questions. So that is one way I do. And I have that video also in my channel that people can start with that and help their students. So.
All right, Katherine, thank you. And Sybel have a question?
Hi, Katherine. Yes. My question is because it really, well, first of all, congratulations. I was browsing all your resources and everything that you have in there. It is amazing. And congratulations for the passion that you share and you still share. I feel that whenever you have a passion, it never dies. Second of all, it's that it really grabbed my attention, your post for today's cafecito, which is La cultura colombiana y su influencia afrodescendiente, regardless of the levels, right? I think this is also becoming more stronger, at least in New Jersey, where I am. I'm feeling this stronger. So I'm interested in how do you address this, or how can I address like any more resources that you might have in terms of culture, and especially now that we're talking about the, you know, this month. If you can share with us, you know, how do you direct these maybe at an intermediate level, where, you know, I can have some discussions with the students and present these more cultural so they can talk about it. Do you have something that I can, you know, like I can get as a guide and, you know, move along?
Right. So you might need to put a few things together from my resources, but I think I know what you are, what you're getting here. So for example, if I'm trying to teach something, maybe a few lessons about that with the resources I have, I might start with short clips of some of the interviews I've done with the people I've interviewed. I would share that. And then one of the things, you know, one of the questions that I would ask is that, what do you notice about these people? How do they look physically? So, you know, that's one of the beautiful things about our heritage is that, you know, we're mixed, right? We are in my own family, right? Like I have, my dad was almost, I don't know how much black he had, but he had more black than my mom. So he had more African in him than my mom, had more like Spanish. Obviously, like I did my DNA and I have like all those fun percentages, but just the way people look, that's also start that conversation, right? Like the way we look, we are so that rich culture is there, and how we have mixed and we have these connections together. So they always that's always sparks that. The other thing I would show is a few clips of the carnivals, and then I have other ones that is just people in the street. So let me show you some of, let me see if I can find that one. It's kind of fun. This one I think is the cultural videos. And oh my gosh, yeah, I forgot about Pueblo Marginado. Oh my gosh, that one is huge actually. But let me show you this one that is called Las Vainas de mi Pueblo. And again, can you see this thing here?
Yes, yes, we can.
So Las Vainas de mi Pueblo is only 3 minutes, but it has so many rich things in terms of the culture. So this is just in the streets. You can see like just the people, the streets, the back, what we eat. Where does that come from? How do we have a tie to that, to the African culture, right? I mean, from the way people look to what the fruits, to everything in Colombia, everything has some tie to it. So let me just keep, this is just one little thing. This is just mango, eating mango with salt and pepper, very typical there. This is a random guy making a living in the ocean. This is actually in Puerto Colombia, which is a bridge that is huge there in Barranquilla, that is on the Atlantic Ocean. This is just a random guy.
Do you have the link of that I can also
Yes, look at these kids. This one is actually really cool. So on that bridge, I found these kids. They live in the ocean. These kids, I actually threw some coins there. We were actually there, they're like, hey, throw some coins and I'll catch you. They're amazing swimmers. They live right there. They're very poor, but they eat the fish, they catch it, they are just happy. But these kids have a lot of African, you know, in them. This is very common in Colombia. Then we have, obviously, you know, we have the coffee, you know, Juan Valdez. This one shows you just the people, like when it rains, the vendors, the streets get so flooded with water. But it's also this conversation I'm having with this taxi driver that just shows the culture. Let me see.
You have awesome videos, and the thing is that you're able to go there to your own country, create all these videos, and then share with everyone. Amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So then we have also, like, this is more like the upper town, and then we have the World Trade Center. Like, okay, so you can see how you just have a little bit of everything. And then now I want to show you another one that is actually really, really, really cool, that has so much culture, and it shows so much of our African heritage. And it's called Pueblo Marginado. And that one I did for a tribute to the Pueblo where I grew up. What is that one? Cultural videos. This one here. So yeah, that one, all these videos are in the ones that says cultural videos. So this one right here, If I can skip this ad. Wow, this ad is long.
There you go, skip ad.
I can, oh, I get, okay.
Yeah.
I need to move this little thing. There we go. Okay, there we go. No, this is Dia de los Muertos. I don't want that one. This one. Okay, so this, what happened? It just went to the other one. I want to show you a beautiful part of Cartagena that is actually a city of Los Negros. So they're probably 100% African, but this part right here at the beach, let me show you. I think I have it here at the beach. They live there and they sell food, but the women wear these things on their head. They're very strong, hardworking women, and they live by the beach, and that's how they make their living. And I show one. I'm trying to find that little clip.
To the right, I think I saw something on the beach.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I think it's more to the right, a little bit more.
To the right here.
Oh, well, that would be your left then.
Okay, hold on. Let me
Like
see.
in the middle.
Because it's just a beautiful thing. Like it shows, like this is like 100%. Like we live with them. They're part of our culture. It's part of Colombian culture, and a lot of them have their own community. Like they have been isolated. In that. Oh, there we go. Right here.
Yeah.
There we go. This beautiful. I love this scene so much because it brings good memories. So they are, these are cocadas, and this lady, she, her family, everything, her community lives by the ocean right there, because that's where they make the living. And it's not a long one, right? But it's just, it shows, the culture and what they do for their living. And then when you show little clips like that, I think the important things is to talk about how that came to be part of Colombia, how that came to be part of the culture. So for that, you might need to, do a little bit of research to share maybe the text or something for them to read and research. But the videos I'm giving you here, the clips, are just real life videos. These are all my videos from the times I've been back in Colombia. Like this one right here, the typical when we do in the streets and the saints, how the religion and Catholic faith is so important, and how, when we have the virgins parading the streets and things like that. So it has different elements that you can show. This is, the street. This is the town I grew up, by the way. So this is where I grew up. It shows animals, how they live, how many homeless animals. I mean, there's just so much. But I like to show that. I think this is enriching. This is the town. And so anyway, very, very beautiful things. I haven't, my goal is, that's one of my goals, to put it, to, I guess, make a Google Slides, because I think hearing you guys asking about this, I think that's what you want, all of this put together. Maybe like in a Google Slides where students can watch the clip, read maybe an article, maybe some critical thinking discussion and things like that. And is that what I'm hearing? Is that something that you would be interested in having, or?
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I remember once I went to a colleague of mine. He presented culture, the African American, the African culture connected with with Colombia, right? I still remember the part I didn't even know, and I'm from Latin America. But you know, some of the resources that he used, and which I'm also seeing here, but because it's a lot, right? But that would be like more kind of like to one class. And for example, something like that was my first time when I learned that the origin of the cumbia, you know, like why people dance the cumbia the way it's danced, only with, you know, like front, back, and then part of the history was because of slavery. And because of that's kind of like, you know, they were with the chain, and whenever they were either blue or they were, you know, celebrating, that's kind of like how they were only allowed to dance because of the chains, because of what they were. So it really grabbed my attention. And then obviously the outfit and obviously the lyrics. And then he was a musician and he came up with a whole concert with all these beautiful, you know, cultural background with the cumbia, the outfit, and you know, and analyzing the lyric of the songs. So yeah, your resources are great, excellent. I'm loving them.
Are amazing.
So like, for example, this dance right here, this is an African dance. Some of these people sometimes paint themselves black to do the dance. But this is an una danza. That's what this called, danza. So las danzas is el mapaleo. Those are from Africa culture. So it's just, yeah, it's just so much that we are part of it. It's just hard to really make that distinction, like what's pure, you know, Spanish from Europe and what is from, it's really hard because everything just kind of, we embraced the culture or the people that came. And that's why Colombia is a very rich country in terms of, you know, diversity and people and traditions. And it almost feels, which I'm sure it is a lot like in other, you know, countries, even in the US, but every department that we have, I believe we have 19 departments in Colombia, departamentos, it's like their own country, right? Because they have their own traditions and food, the way they talk, the climate, you know, we have so many different climates which determine the culture. So like I'm from the coast, which is hot, people are always outside. So when you are outside, you are more talkative and all kinds of things happen when you're outside because you're hot, right? So the culture is so different versus the people that are like en el interior, like Bogota and the other places that are colder. So yeah, it's really cool.
Wow, thank you so much. And almost by the end of this cafecito, and we have one more question. Kat, do you want to ask, please, the question, or you want me to read it? You're gonna go ahead, unmute yourself. Go ahead.
I forgot I was on mute for a second. Let me see. I typed it out so I wouldn't forget. But okay. So how do you encourage students to get out of their comfort zones, like in order to participate in the speaking activities and the artistic activities that you're talking about with the cultural background? Because I imagine that students have a lot to offer in their own backgrounds, especially when it comes to the variety of students, for lack of a better term. So how do you get them comfortable enough or enough vocabulary, I don't know how to word it, to participate?
Okay, so to participate in terms of sharing their own culture versus with, you know, my culture, the way I grew up, or encourage them to participate, to just speak in the Q&A. Which one are you talking about? Because I do have two different things. We have the speaking part, which is we call it, like the special person interviews, whatever, which happens every Friday. And they know, I try to rotate students, but a lot of them are just eager to be picked. And they come in the middle and then we ask the questions. And then the other part is that I have them share cultural things. So compare and contrast my culture with their culture. So I share the traditions that I have, but I want them to share their traditions. And then I want them to see their similarities and differences. And then I want them also to compare those with other countries, not just Colombia, right? But other countries. So I have different strategies that I use to help them. So I guess I'm trying to find out which one are you referring to? What is it, all of them or?
So that both answers it and opens up more questions for me.
Okay.
I'm an abundance of curiosity. So I
Okay.
understand everything and I could ask you questions for days. But
Well, what we can do, Kat, I just sent you the link of her Facebook and how to contact her. She also have a blog. And that would be good for the blog too, right? And
Yeah, so I have a group called, the group is called Let's Learn Spanish on Facebook, and it's mainly for educators. So yeah, mainly for educators who want to get like that, like more ideas and want to also share their ideas, because I don't want just say, oh, this is just about me, right? Because I'm just one person, and there's so much valuable resources and things that other educators offer. So I want them to offer their stuff. I want to learn from them too. So if that's one group that I have that you can be part of, and I'm hoping to start sharing more, maybe do some live streams where I can do more of this, me talking and sharing the things I do. But yeah, I try to post everything in my blog there. Yeah, so I'm pretty open to connect and answer questions or help each other out, whatever.
all
I
right.
think the link, you got the link to that. But yeah, that is one way that we can stay connected if you want to like keep the conversation going or whatever.
Yeah, I have shared the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter, the YouTube videos. I don't think I'm missing anything. Educators Facebook group, YouTube channel, Google Drive, the blogs. So we got it all. Instagram.
Yeah, you
Twitter.
have everything. I'm not hiding. So
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. This is what we're looking for in our Cafecito Cultural, that we can work together and share information, historicals, cultural diversity, everything involved in that. Well, we have in this episode of this Cafecito Cultural, I want to thank everyone for being here today. Thank you, Katherine, for giving us this time and so much wisdom through your YouTube videos, your Google Drive. This is something that now we're going to have as a big treasure forever, because there's so much things in there that now, like, wow, thank you, Samuel, for being here today as well. And this is another Cafecito Cultural. So I will see you guys this Saturday. We have another Cafecito at 10 o'clock in the morning. All right. And then Sunday as well. So just keep it in keep your eyes in Facebook. This video will also be showing in YouTube, so you can share later with all the colleagues and invite them to come and join us, okay? Thank you.
thank
Thank
you.
you, Katherine, for sharing
Thank
so
you,
much with
Katherine.
us.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Katherine, can you please take off the screen so we can take a good picture here?
Yep.
I almost forgot. 1 second. All right, everybody ready? 1, 2, 3.